I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. And it is an honor, actually, that they endorsed Dr. Martin Luther King and were against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's actually an honor.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. Rappers Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, Soulja Boy, and Nelly performed at Trump's inaugural ball and has the internet in a tizzy. However, I do have a different take on this particular topic, and here it is. As we saw previously from Malcolm X's statement, that's pretty much the same sentiment that I share. I'm not sure why we look at, and when I say we, I'm speaking to specifically to the Black and or African American community, though this may apply across the board when you really think about it. I don't know why we look at entertainers, rappers, actors, comedians, etc., as our political leaders. I don't see them as such. I see them just as that, just as entertainers. Singers get money to sing, to perform, to tour. Same as rappers. Actors get paid to perform in film, theater, television, etc. They are not political leaders, though I'm sure they do have their own political views. I don't understand I do understand some of the upsetness, right? Because unfortunately, people do, or I can say black people do, some black people do, look at entertainers as leaders, as role models because they have so much visibility. But that's not what they signed up for, one. Secondly, I think we have our own set of political leaders that we can look at, that we should pay attention to for certain things. When you look at an entertainer, when you're paying attention to an entertainer, the only thought that you should really have more or less, is, are they entertaining? Are they entertaining me? What type of entertainment is this? Not, what is their political affiliation? Now, I get it. Trump is polarizing. This nation right now is in an extreme state of polarization. It's really no medium. It's either left or right. And I know everyone says, well, I'm independent, and that's fine. But overall, it is extreme left or extreme right, and you got to pick a side. So I'm never here to give political advice. I have my own opinions, and I make them heard in the booth, right? When I vote. Black people, and I just want to speak specifically to the community that I'm a part of. Black people, entertainers are not our political leaders. Now you may say, well, I'm not looking at them to be a political leader, but them aligning or performing there means that they're aligned with someone who I don't like, someone whom I don't respect, someone whom I view as racist. So I understand that. And everyone is entitled to have their perspective in that regard, right? When you think back to a statement that Snoop Dogg made when Trump was campaigning first time around, or actually when Trump won first time around, he made this video, put out saying pretty much anybody black that performs for Trump is I think his term, and I quote, was a jigaboo ass N-word. I don't want to say the N-word, so a jigaboo ass N-word. And there he is, or there he was last night, performing. at Trump's inaugural ball. So I guess he is that jigaboo ass N-word, right? Potentially so. I think, and Nelly, he went on, you can check this out. Nelly went on to Willie D Live. Willie D is a rapper from a infamous rap group from the mid 80s, I think early 90s, called the Ghetto Boys. Houston rapper, alongside Scarface and a gentleman by the name, rest in peace, of Bushwick Bill. So Willie D is a Houston legend, and really, I guess you could really say a rap legend in his own right. So Willie D had an interview with Nelly, the rapper, who performed as well. And Nelly had a lot to say to defend himself. Some would say that the defense was not so great, that he contradicted himself, but he didn't make sense. And I wouldn't be too far from that. But I don't look at Nelly as someone that I need to listen to politically, or kind of in any way. He's made a few songs that I like. Back in my early college years. And that's that. I know he's married to Ashanti. I like Ashanti. She's cool. And that's just where it's at. I don't look at them for any other reason than they have songs that I like. I look at Snoop Dogg like, okay, he has a nice discography. He has some songs that I like. Rick Ross, he's had like a few songs that I like. Soulja Boy had maybe one or two songs that I like. Okay. But I don't look at them for any type of educational factor, for any type of political factor, for any type of healthcare factor. While it's nice to see someone who looks like you, maybe share the same skin color as you, as someone that you would want to represent you, I don't look at them like that. I have family members that I look to, that I listen to for political advice, if you will, for just general life advice, anything that affects my life. I have family members that I can go to. I have their own examples that I can pull from. I think we have to stop looking at people that are just because they're visible as leaders. Everyone that you can see is not a leader and shouldn't be leading you. Now, if your argument is that, well, I'm not looking at them for political leadership, I'm looking at them as they're aligning themselves with the racist, okay, well, then that's fine. But then we have to look at ourselves in our everyday life. As Black people, we don't generally, we do have ownership in some things, but not a lot, you know? So when you go to your Walmarts, when you go to your Targets, when you go to your Bottega Veneta, your Louis Vuitton, these type of stores, and brands, you have to look at, do these stores support and uplift the African American community? And you will find that oftentimes 99.9% of the time they don't. Specifically speaking to Black women, I'm a Black woman. When you visit these neighborhood beauty supply stores that aren't owned by us, and you support and uplift them, and the moment you walk in the door, they're talking about you. They're looking at you up and down. They're following you up and down the aisles. But you're there probably every Saturday, every other Saturday, getting hair stuff, getting nails, whatever. Or going to the nail shop. More often than not, we don't own these nail shops that we visit. And once again, the moment you walk in the door, they're talking about you. The moment you sit down in the chair, they're looking at you up and down, this attitude, this and that, but they take your money. And you give it to them, willingly. So I think it's very important to be not just critical of people that are in maybe higher financial positions than you, or maybe have more visibility than you, to also be equally critical of yourself. and to be fair and to be across the board. I look at Beyonce, and I know y'all going to get after me behind this, but I look at Beyonce, whom I've been a fan of, maybe not more so recently. I've gotten older and just music has phased out for me at this point. But definitely we're in the same age bracket. I guess I can say I grew with her listening to her music. I look at Beyonce and I look at someone who I think I had a wake up call when she came out with Formation. And she performed at the Super Bowl with Bruno Mars and Coldplay. And I remember her saying how proud she was of her basically being black, her heritage, her, being Creole, her mom's Creole. But then having on a 10-foot, 20-foot blonde wig. It's like, you're so proud to be who you are as African American woman in this great nation, but you walking around with a 20-foot lion's mane. It's like, and yes, I know her hair is long. Her natural hair is long. I know that. And it's dyed blonde, okay? So I think it's very important to be fair across the board with our singers that, like I said, they wear these blonde wigs. They lighten their skin. They get nose jobs. And yes, you can say a lot of people get nose jobs. A lot of people do get plastic work. Or plastic surgery, excuse me. So that could be selling out in a sense, So I'm not making it okay or right for anybody to do it. I'm just saying most people do it. And most people do it in their everyday life. Whether you realize it or not. Every purchase that you make, every dollar that you give to a person or a business, whether it's large or small, that does not support or like your community, you're selling out a piece of yourself. And I don't want to get in, too preachy and, high on the soapbox, but when I think about like the Asian community, and I think about how they have most major cities, they have like their own side of town or their own segments in the major metropolitan area, right? Like they'll have their restaurants, they have their banks, and a lot of Hispanic communities as well. Their banks, their clinics, their schools, they have everything they need right there. So they keep their dollars circulated within their community. And I can't recall the last time I've seen an Asian American woman, with not supporting Black culture. Let me just put it that way. Or Indian persons, or you get what I'm saying? So when we look at these 4 rappers and Chrisette Michele, who performed at the first inaugural ball when Trump won the first time, and we totally canceled her for performing, and then now we are revisiting and getting ready to cancel these 4 guys, and it's kind of hypocrisy because we're picking and choosing because the constituency says we hate Trump, so nobody can rock with him, and that's fine. I mean, like I said, I don't offer my political views on here, whether I'm for or against anybody. I don't say. I think you can probably tell, who I am from. If you watch my videos, you can probably try to, you can get a little bit of the drift here. But we have to look across the board about who is being representative and in complete alignment with who they say they are. Who's walking around here with 22-inch Brazilian or Indian premium hair? Who's not Brazilian or Indian? And there's nothing wrong with doing things that make you feel better, but then you have to understand why you're doing it, why you think that's making you feel better, to have someone else's hair on your head. that's the only way that you feel attractive or beautiful or what have you, or this thing means it's enhancing your beauty, while your own hair. And that's, I know some people, maybe have medical conditions and have no hair or lost hair, whatever. I'm not speaking to that. I'm saying overall and generally. Why do you have to have 22, 20? I mean, I've seen hair all the way down like to people's ankles, and it's like, okay, this is excessive. Or you have to have hair, gel down your face to feel beautiful. Or it's trendy, or it's the look, but it's not you. But we're okay with that. Just don't. That's kind of like self-hatred, which is what you're arguably saying is the same thing that these 4 rappers are doing, aligning with someone who is reported to be a racist and a misogynist and a alleged grapist. We can't say the R word, so we say grapist, amongst other things. Convicted felon for sure. That is on paper, documented, So, to sum up, what I'm saying is we have to be fair across the board, one, and then secondly, we have to realize and accept that our entertainers period, are not political leaders. That's what you have Congress for. That's what you have the House of Representatives for. That's what you have your attorney generals, your governors, your mayors, your council persons. These are the people that you vote in for your interest. These are the people that you would hopefully listen to once you've gotten the guidance from, if not your family, maybe your family is not political astute, maybe in your friendship circle, in your coworker circle, or just in your own mind. You've been watching and you know what's going on with you and what your needs and what your interests are, and you vote for who's aligning with that. But entertainers are not leaders. They dance, sing, and or act for the quote unquote bag. That's where their loyalty will lie. And just because you see someone either on a political campaign or not voicing anything politically doesn't mean that they align with you necessarily. We don't know who votes for who when they get inside the booth, or who voted for who when they got inside the booth, or when they sent in that mail-in ballot. We don't know. People can play in your face all day. But when they get in there and vote, we saw that's what happened with this last election, right? Kamala Harris was projected to win, had all the right people on stage, campaigning, posting TikToks, Instagrams, Facebook, YouTubes. I mean, she was everywhere and everyone was everywhere for her. But guess what? What happened on that Tuesday, first Tuesday in November? So to my Black people, focus on your household. Focus on yourself, your community, your neighborhood, your family, your extended family. Get right with them. Get your money, your finances together. Get your health together. Get your life together. And for those whose life has already got it together, then you each one teach one. Do you some volunteering at the local. Let me tell you something. These elementary schools, these junior high schools, these academies, these charter schools need you so badly. We're talking about a teacher shortage. Yes, they need you so badly. Can you take a weekend off and be a tutor somewhere? We need you. These huge mega churches, even the smaller churches, can you not, instead of just coming on Sunday, can you stay after Sunday and teach some financial literacy courses? Those of you that have successful marriages, can you teach an hour or two, have some counseling or just a marriage circle? This is how we made it this far. This is how you can get in a marriage, stay in a marriage, have a healthy, not just get in one and stay in one, but have a healthy one. We have so much work to do amongst the majority of us. We cannot afford for the next 4 years to worry about the few. I'll say that again. We have so much work to do amongst the majority of us. We cannot afford for the next 4 years to worry about the few. These rappers are good. And if they did it for the bag, they did it for the bag. That means they're not good. They're doing what they got to do. So let's focus on us as a community. Your house, you, yourself, your household, your family, your extended family, your church family, your sorority, your fraternity family, your networking family, your social media family. Each one teach one. And that is how you uplift and permanently affect change that you want to see in your own community. These entertainers are for themselves. They're entertainers. That's what they do. Okay? They're not your leaders. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.